What's going on, guys? It's your boy Worthy Prince coming at ya with another Lords Mobile video, and today, guys, we're talking trapping. Now, as you can imagine, I get asked loads of questions pretty much on the daily, whether it's in game or if it's online chat. We gamers always getting messaged about what, formations, what troop compositions work when it comes to taking T4 hits. Now, I'm actually going to be planning a live stream very soon. We're going to be doing a Q&A where you guys can come in and ask any questions you want about trapping. We can talk about formations, etc. But right now, guys, I've got some info for you, just backing up some stuff I've said in the past. Now, there are traps currently working in-game right now, and there's people currently building traps that run a T1 Frontline. In fact, these traps are completely made up of T1 troops. Now, I'm on the fence with this a little bit. Well, I have been, because, in the past, this was something that worked very, very well. If you had a good number of T1 in your turf, you could kind of take those hits, no problem at all. It was a popular choice because, as you probably know, T1s heal instantly, which is great when you're trapping because it means you can get them back up on their feet so much quicker and at a cheaper cost without having to use any speed ups, and of course the resources you're using is a lot cheaper as well. But I have to say, with the recent updates to things like sigils, that give you that extra boost when you're attacking with your hero, and of course mythic gear, I think the tide is slightly turning, and with my trap, I'm actually quite pleased I changed the composition and went for a T2 Frontline. Now, it's no secret as to what kind of composition I'm running. I'm sure many of you have seen the video that I've currently got up on the channel going through my full account overview, and in that video I did talk about my troop composition and showed it. And I'm going to do the same now, guys. You can see my trap is consistent of a lot of T1. There's a lot of stuff there. 5.25 million T1 archers, 5 million cataphracts, but you can see I've got no grunts in there whatsoever. It's gladiators. That's going to be the front lines, 2 million of them. And there's a really good reason why I chose to go with that composition, because yes, it does cost me gems or, speed ups and more resources to get them back up on their feet. But that T2 Frontline is so much more stronger than T1. It just holds up so much better against those big T4 solo hits, allowing those T1s cav and range to do the damage they need to do to get rid of it and eat the march completely, which is why my trap is so successful at eating T4 solo marches. Well, it is when I've got the right gear on. We all know I've taken some nasty hits when I haven't got my war gear on, but that's just a different story entirely. If I'm taking a hit with my war gear, good luck in trying to walk away from that hit. Now, I've got a member in BRR that actually managed to hit a T1 trap the other day. So big shout out to BRR, who knows? He actually is known in BRR as the Trap Destroyer. He's actually got some pretty good stats, and if he knows someone's a solo trap, I can guarantee you he's definitely going to give you a try. Well, guys, he actually came up against a T1 solo trap the other day, and I've got the battle reports that we're going to go through with you right now, and it kind of just put everything into perspective for me with regards to everything I've been saying. When you see the numbers, the numbers don't lie, guys. They really don't. So let's jump into the actual battle reports themselves and show you what kind of damage he was able to do. Let's go. Okay, so as you can see, this is Who Knows. He's got some good gear, guys. You can't see it because it's all hidden by the sigils, apart from the purple champ chest piece. But if someone's got the shadow sigils like this, they're going to have some pretty good gear sitting behind it. So it's definitely no joke. I know that he hits around about between 600 and 700. We'll say that as far as his attack. So it's pretty high for a single troop march. This is the trap that he was attacking. 102 million might, 37 million kills. Perfect kind of opportunity for a big player like him. This guy's gear is pretty good. It's not the best I've seen, but for a trap, if you're set up correctly, you know, this will definitely do the job. So how many troops did this guy actually have? Well, let's take a look at that. He had nearly 12 million troops, guys, which is just a little bit short of what I have in my trap. As you can see, 254,000 Red Deads. You know, he burned. You know, he only just walked away, fair enough, but still, that's a failed trap attempt. And it's that T1 front line being so weak that allowed him to burn and take that many losses. Let's jump into the troop breakdown. You can see it was a 375 infantry march, well, a little bit of siege, which is what actually made his troops walk back. And then look at the actual troop composition. It is primarily set up with T1 troops using that T1 front line. He has got a handful of T2 sharpshooters and riders, plus 100,000 of each tier 3. You know, in the olden days, this would have been the perfect T1 trap setup, you know, and he's even gone a bit step further with the T2 as well, and some T3, which is actually what's boosted his might so much. But you'd expect that to trap him all day long. This is the second attack. Again, he just walked back, but take a look at the Reds, guys. 1 million Red Deads. Yes, you could argue that these are still pretty good defenses because he's losing T1, he's losing T4, which costs more on resources and speed ups. But, you know, the idea of a trap is to trap someone and not take any reds when you do it. This was only 2 hits on this trap account. Can you imagine if this person got hit by multiple players all at the same time? You know, he would have been zeroed in seconds. Seconds, guys, it would have been over. And again, I stress this, that's not how a trap should work. So, in my opinion, based on this, I think the time of T1 trapping is slowly starting to end, guys. It really is. Okay, let's jump back to the game. Okay, guys, so there's a couple of points I want to add to this before we end the video today, okay? So, you know, you just saw there, 2 hits, he lost a ton of troops. If this was a group hit, he would have been zeroed in seconds. And that's not how a trap should work. You should be able to take anything at any time, okay? So build for the future. That's what I'm saying. You know, T1 trap did work. I think it's starting to fade out now. And yeah, I know some people are going to say, oh, but he had a little bit of siege. If he didn't have that, he would have capped him. You know, he wasn't running a full mythic champ set. If a full mythic champ set player had hit him, it would have been devastating. It really would have been. So you just need to be careful because so many players now are starting to get mythic, which does give you good single troops type stats. You can get somewhere up to the region of around about 700, 650, 700 with a really good mythic set. And more players now are starting to get that. So you just got to be really careful when you're building this troop composition up, okay? Here's an example of what I want to say to you. That second hit he took actually put around about, well, it killed about 800,000. Obviously, 40% of that dying, 60% going to his infirms. Now, I've got a rally report here where I fouled, okay? And as you can see, I had the same amount of losses. 351 red, 490 wounded, it's about 800 odd. Same as him on that second hit. That was a solo hit he took. This was a 1.3 million rally that hit me. And if we take a look at the actual troop composition that was sent, you can see there's a bunch of T4 in there, 443,000 in total, or 444,000, plus a load of T3 as well. And I had the same amount of losses as he did from that second solo hit. You know what I'm saying? That T1 front line, it's very scary stuff these days, it really is. Okay, there is something else I need to mention to you guys as well, because I have been asked this question. If I had £1 for every time somebody asked me this, I'd be a very rich man right now, okay? But the question I get asked is, can you please tell me what troop composition beats a T4 solo march? It's something that I get asked every day, literally, every single day. You know, what I want to say to you is, just building the troops, guys, isn't enough. It ain't enough. You can't just go and build 2 million infantry T2 and 10 million T1s on the other 2 troop types and say I'm a trap. I'm now going to go and cap some T4 players. Completely situational. That's how this works. It's so situational. It depends on their gear, their troop types, their stats, your troops, your gear, your stats, your jewels, your heroes. It all comes into play. You need to make sure you're running good stats, good gear, good jewels, and good heroes. Notice I didn't say amazing or excellent. It just needs to be good. The heroes, you know, gold does, you know, wonders. If you can get the 5 gold heroes, these 5 here I've got are all free to play, then that's a really good start. I was still trapping with purple ones, still managed to do a good job, but the gold makes a massive difference, guys. It really does. And as far as your gear and everything goes, you really should be running around about 250%, 200 to 250% attack on your 3 troop types, maybe a little bit more on range, as kind of like the minimum really. Because for someone to hit me in full mythic champ, I reckon I would still cap them on a solo, but it will be close. It won't. I've still got some work to do on my trap, you see. I'm not finished. I've still got work to do on jewels and gear. And of course, I've still got to hit level 60. But, you know, those are like the minimum stats. So if you look at your attack stats, if they're all below 200, then be careful. Because unless you're running extra troops, like 14, 15 million troops, you know, you're going to get hurt bad if you get hit a few times by some people. So just be very careful. Jewels, I mean, you know, blue as a minimum, really. You want those 3 attack jewels, infantry, cav, and range. Forget the monster jewels. Forget everything else apart from infantry, range, and cavalry attack jewels. And you need to make sure they're at least blue, guys, because the jewels make such a big difference. They really do. I'm at the point now where I'm using guild coins to just get jewel chests. So, you know, very, very important. But I digress. Coming back to the actual question at hand, T1 troops on your front line. In my opinion, with the updates and the size the players are getting now, the stats people are running now, I think it's very risky. Very, very risky indeed. So if you're one of those players out there that are building it or doing it right now, start thinking about the future, start building up your T2 front line and get ready for that switch, because it's definitely something you're going to need to do down the line, if not now. So there we go. That's my little video post for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. I hope you learned something. If you disagree with me, then stick it in the comments, because I like to get everybody's opinions. But after seeing those battle reports, it made me feel like, you know what, I'm right. I need to tell people about this. T1 is not the way to go for that front line. It really isn't. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that before you go. Smash that like button, guys. Live stream tonight, as usual. Gear Check Sunday will be around about 7 PM UK time. And until the next time, stay safe and peace out.